This man's hair suddenly grew hundreds of times in size and instantly grabbed a nearby pillar, pulling him down to the ground. His companions, witnessing this, tried to rush to his rescue, but in the next moment, a chain from Jotaro's clothes wrapped around them, and Joseph's prosthetic limb also grew several times in size, pinning them down. However, at that moment, Death 13, holding a scythe, walked toward them and swiftly launched an attack. Jotaro immediately summoned Star Platinum to counterattack, but to his surprise, Star Platinum launched a fierce assault on him and punched him flying. Then, Star Platinum took out a frying pan and began hitting his own face. Jotaro was stunned, watching in disbelief as this unfolded. But in the next moment, Star Platinum transformed into the form of Death 13. It turned out that they were inside Death 13's dream, where he could control everyone's thoughts, while stand abilities were merely a manifestation of their mental power. This meant they couldn't summon their stands. But just then, Kakyoin's Hierophant Green suddenly appeared behind him. Death 13, thinking it was an illusion, tried to strike it away, but in the next second, Hierophant Green grabbed his neck. As the pressure increased, Death 13 realized something was wrong and began frantically swinging his scythe to try and dislodge him. However, Hierophant Green was positioned perfectly in his blind spot, and no matter how Death 13 attacked, he couldn't reach him. At that moment, the others gathered around Kakyoin and asked how he had summoned his stand. Kakyoin explained that when Polnareff knocked him unconscious outside, he had managed to summon Hierophant Green at the same time. Just then, the sky in the dream began to move, eventually forming a giant arm. Jotaro stared in shock at the sight, but before anyone could react, the giant arm reached down from the sky and grabbed the scythe, severing Death 13 and Hierophant Green at the waist. Seeing Kakyoin on the ground, Death 13 lifted his clothes and explained to everyone that he didn't have a body, only hands and a head. At that moment, the child outside the dream suddenly started laughing, revealing that he was the true form of Death 13. Just as he was about to celebrate his victory, Kakyoin suddenly stood up. Everyone was shocked to see this. It turned out that when Kakyoin entered the dream, he had secretly used Hierophant Green to transform into a thin string, slipping into Death 13's ear. As Hierophant Green increased the force of its entry, Death 13 tried to cut himself off to stop it, but by then, Hierophant Green had completely entered his brain and took full control of Death 13's ability to move.